Hello, JavaScripters. Bruce here to talk about JavaScript events, okay? Now, in the past, I showed you some jQuery stuff first, and then I showed you the pure JavaScript way to do it. Right now, I'm going to show you the pure JavaScript way to do it first. So, very simplistic examples here, but good learning stuff, okay? So I have a page, here's the body tag, and I have an h1 and a paragraph, and a script tag here at the bottom. And notice it says document dot onClick equals, and then an anonymous function, okay? Anonymous, no name, okay? So right here, we're assigning this function to the onClick event of the document. Now, for those of you out there who know what the document is, you should, right? The document being this thing right here. And notice when I click anywhere, we're getting the alert, okay? Because that event, right here, document.onClick, is being bound to this function which says alert you click somewhere in the document. Okay? Not a very useful event, but I just want you to see what you can do here, okay? Now, let's move on. Let's go to my event demo number 2. Now, look at the way the syntax, the way this was written. It says document dot, instead of onClick, we have the function add event listener, and then the event we want to listen for, the function that we should run. Okay, note that we don't have the open and close parentheses here, and then this third parameter, okay? So some of you are going to say, well, what's that third parameter? So, just like I do when I don't know things, I will type it in, and I will get, okay, a list of, links on Google, and let's see what we have here, okay? So, let's see. They have definition and usage. The add event listener method attaches an event handler to the specified element. Okay, that's cool. Okay, let's see. Syntax. Here we go. Element, right? Dot add event listener event. We saw that. Click. Function, the function name, and use capture. Okay, so what's use capture? Optional, a Boolean value that specifies whether the event should be executed in the capturing or in the bubbling phase. Okay, now a little bit more advanced, and you'll notice that I had it set to false, which is default. The event handler is executed in the bubbling phase. Now just hold that, okay? I'm counting on you to remember that to set this to false, and that it's set to false to be used during the bubbling phase, okay? Don't get too hung up on it. So here's my function. It has a name called my function, and it kind of does the same thing that we did before, okay? So open in browser, I click, and everything is running just the same way, okay? Add event listener, okay? Add event listener. Now this is adding it to the entire document, okay? Again, not very useful. Okay. Number 3, okay, says in the script document.getElementById heading. So now it's looking in the DOM here for this element with the ID of heading, and then it's going to bind on the onMouseOver event to heading this anonymous function. Okay, so that means when I mouse over this heading, right, this H1, it's going to give me an alert. Okay? Wow. Okay? So ready? Doink. There it was. Did you see it? I'll do it again. Ready? Dope. There it is on the H1. Okay? Not on the H1, but on the H1 with the ID of heading. Okay? So we are binding here an anonymous function using the onMouseOver event to the element heading. Okay? You cool so far? Okay, knew you would be. Okay, so the next one says, hey, when the window, right, not document, when the window is done loading, okay, when the window's done loading, okay, it's going to run this anonymous function, okay? And it's going to add, it's going to say on mouse over for the heading, do that alert, okay? So it's kind of almost the same thing, right, as the one before. So there it is, okay? So kind of like the document ready, the window dot on load is doing the same thing here, right? So ready? There it is, right? Whoops, there it is, okay? And again, okay? So this is adding it, okay, on the window dot on load event, okay? So when the window is done loading, it's going to create this anonymous function, okay, which actually we're creating this anonymous function with this JavaScript in it, and then it's being bound to the on load event of the window, okay? Cool with me so far? Okay, good. Next up, this page demonstrates set timeout, okay? Now, everyone always screws around with this, okay? And it's kind of, it's there. I'm not a big user of it unless I'm doing something like an LCD panel display for a company that sits in their boardroom or their lobby or something like that. But what this does, and let's go through the code, it says, hey, get element by ID main image. Okay, here it is as a main image, and it happens to be some image on the Clark web server. Then it creates this thing called set timeout, okay, which says when you've reached your timeout, okay, call this function. Okay, notice no parentheses. Okay, and here is the function change image, which takes the image that it found up here on line 19 and changes the source property to some other image here. Now, I don't think this is working, but let me see if it does. No, because the images aren't set. But just understand what's going to happen is every 5 seconds, right? Actually, not every 5 seconds. Let's just go through this, okay? So see this change image thing here? Let's just write out a console message, console.log change-o. Okay, let's do that. Let's bring up the page, okay, and refresh. Reach the timeout, which is 5 seconds, and then it said change-o, okay? Notice we're getting an error here because that image doesn't exist. Okay, see how many times did it run? That's my point. Okay, so it reached a timeout of 5 seconds and then it took action. Okay, set timeout. In fact, let's just fix this. Okay, I think that's the good logo, and let me just go over here and change this logo here. I think I have one on my clipboard. No, let me see. Let's go find a picture of me, Bruce Elgort. Okay, let's go find a picture of me. I don't know. Let's get this weird one of me leaning over here. Okay, so there is a picture. Okay, look at that. Oh, boy, am I ugly. Okay, and then let's paste that in there, and let's rerun the script. Ah, it's not working. Actually, let's and let's change it to something else here. Okay, so let's change it to another picture of Bruce here. Bruce Elgort. Okay, images. Let me go change it to this one, this black and white one. Okay, there I am. Go back into my code. Okay, there it is. Let me load this document up. Turn on the console. No errors, yay. And when it reaches its timeout, it changes the picture, change-o. Okay, just does it one time. Okay, just does it one time. And there is the code. If you want to hit pause, again, you can find this code all over the internet for set timeout. Okay, the next one. This is very similar to the one before. Okay, it gets a handle to the image, okay, on the page with the ID of main image. It then does what's called a set interval. Then it calls a function named change image, again, no parentheses, and it does it every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds. And here is the function, okay? Just has some simple logic to get the source. If the source is one image, it then sets it to another image, okay? So let's do this. Okay, there is the first one. There is the second one. Let's just see if it works, okay? We open up my console. So there's Bruce. There he is. 5 seconds goes by. Changes to the Clark logo. Let's see if it goes back now. Okay, yep, so it's working as expected, right? There is an event that fires off at an interval of every 5 seconds, okay? So I wanted to show you that, and I think I have one more, okay? Yeah, this is kind of cool. So let me show it to you first, and then we'll go through the code. So look at that. There is a pretty yellow box, and then a blue one, a purple one, and then I think 2 more, whatever, purple, a different variant of purple, and then, oh, another, I don't know. Yep, see, it's looping around, okay? My color, sometimes I can be really colorblind, so let's go through it. I get a handle to the main image right on the page here on line 14. I then have an array of images that point to a bunch of PNG files. I then set my image index to 0, okay, and that's going to be used to pick a random, I think a random, is it random? We'll find out. And then I have a function here called change image, but let's scroll down first, because down here, okay, here is where I set interval. I call the function change image every 4 seconds, and you're actually able to get a interval handle here, because what you can do is you can stop this. You can clear the interval if need be, okay? And just notice here we have the myImage.onClick with an anonymous function. So what we did is we said, hey, if anyone clicks on that image, put up an alert and then clear the interval for this interval handle, which we got up here on line 50. Okay, so yeah, a lot going on there, right? So the way that the image works, right, the rotator thing, is it says here, okay, change image gets called, right, because change image gets called every 4 seconds. Okay, we then set the source attribute for the image to the image array and then the image index, which started off as 0. We then increment that, and then if here's where we determine if we've reached the end of the array, we set the index back to 0. Okay, just so you know. Okay, so let's go back, and it's going, and all of a sudden if I hit click, right? If I hit click, look at that, it's not working. Let's see what's going on here. Ah, there it was. Okay, bam. I clobbered the set interval for you. So let me refresh this. Okay. Now, watch this. I clicked, and there it is. Okay. I'll reload one more time. Click. There it is. Okay. So that's the way you can cancel a set interval. Okay. A little long demo here about events, and just know you can add an event, right? We did click, you can do double click, mouse over, there's a ton, key up, key down, key press, right? All that kind of stuff, okay? Look up those different events, okay? In fact, I'll just show you, okay? JavaScript events on, and we should get a list here, okay? Let's see what we have, okay? On click, on click, on change, on mouse over, on mouse out, on key down, on load. Okay? So just look things up when you don't know. You know, and if you want to grow and learn, you experiment and you play and you say things wrong like I just did about some of those events, okay? Because I always forget. It all is dependent upon what you're trying to do, okay? So just know that you may have a circumstance where on a form you may need to see any time the select, right, is changed, the value of a select, right? You can have that as an event. Maybe when someone tabs out of a field, that's called a blur, right? Or maybe when someone goes into a field, that field is now gets the focus, and you have an on focus event, okay? I'm rambling a little bit now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Go back, play parts over again, ask questions, and in the next video we'll talk about jQuery events.